What's up guys? So today we're walking through the copywriting course as a speedrun because there's lots of 4-hour courses on YouTube, but most of them are just fluff, and I'm here today to give you the sauce in as little time as possible. So first of all, I don't have a paid course and I'm making this for myself 2 years ago because I've been into copywriting for 2 years and I wish I had this kind of resource early on. So first of all, what you'll probably hear is that you need a niche. For this, you're going to take either a hobby, your parents' job, maybe they're a lawyer, so that could be an interesting niche because you have a competitive advantage there. Your personal interests, for example, going to the gym, or your network, maybe you're connected with a lot of agency kids in your high school or something. So that could be interesting. And for niches, I have this nice quote by Naval Ravikant: redefine what you do until you're the best in the world at it. Which means you need to go as deep as possible. Gym, you go even deeper to these hardcore bodybuilder types, and maybe even deeper and do that for women, so you keep going down the chain until you're best in the world. And for deliverables, some people like to do emails or product descriptions or funnels, sales pages, whatever, but especially in the age of AI, I like to do everything because it's not that hard anymore to fulfill the deliverable, and business owners really value when you can solve multiple problems. And then how do you actually upgrade your skills? For that I have my YouTube, which you're on right now. Good job. And these websites I really like to give out to people. These are samples of good copy you can analyze. There's also the Meta Ads library, which is a really great resource, because if you're not actually studying good copy, you won't improve your own copy. But being a good copywriter comes down to writing tons of copy inside Google Docs, of course, or you can use Notion, I don't care. And it's good for your copy to get feedback. You can do that in Reddit, for example r/copywriting, inside groups or in my Twitter DMs. Or you can ask AI to give feedback on your copy, but be sure that it's actually critical. Okay, but how do you actually get clients? There's two different ways. First of all, outreach, which comes down to Instagram voice notes, XDMs, cold emails, network and groups, basically the people you know and reaching out to them. And if you want specific scripts for all of these, you can DM me on X. But I think a far more powerful asset is your social media, because in this game you want to build lasting assets, and YouTube, X and your brand are really valuable because they grow over time. And I can make this video and maybe it reaches just one person or 1,000. And this is a great long-term asset to invest into. So I want you to create content for both of these platforms. For X, you're going to post 4 times a day and do 5 comments. And for YouTube, you should do a video at least once a month. Now ideally you would do more, but in my case I don't actually get a lot of videos out per month, so I feel hypocritical suggesting you to do more. And also you could start a newsletter or a group to really focus your audience and actually own it yourself, and not just have it be owned by a platform. And one thing about content I can give you is that you should not be faceless, because every one of these kids do that and they just waste their time. It doesn't work, and I hate arguing with you all over this. And a big thing for content is to study winning formats, but also another thing is you don't want to actually copy and paste AI content, because the algorithms recognize that and it doesn't work. But what about your portfolio? Because everyone tells you that you need a portfolio. You can use reviews by your network or DMs people send you. You can tweet those. Maybe they're telling you, oh, you're so great, I want to learn from you, and you can just tweet that, and that's another layer of trust we build. This goes hand in hand with testimonies, but you should also put some samples into a Google Doc with these things included. Just for a nice quick portfolio, I wouldn't use Google Drive because the doc is just cleaner. And if you want to practice copywriting, you can use these 2 easy frameworks. You use PAST, that's problem, agitate, solution. Basically you say, oh, you're fat, it's bad because you can't play with your kids, but this program solves it. That's really basic. And there's AIDA, that's attention, interest, desire and action. For example, Harvard researchers showed that this decreases your lifespan by 10 years. Of course, back that up, but that's just off my head. And then you put them in with interest, basically elaborate on the attention, which in this case would be title, and that's the lead. Then you put their desire. Again, you talk about not being able to play with their kids. Hook them with their action, for example, the weight loss program. And that's basically it. I know this was a really quick video, but if you want the solution to all your problems, you can DM me on X or comment your questions. I'll be sure to answer them, because I can't really cover all of copywriting. It's far more productive for you to ask your questions inside the comments, and it's actually an interactive way, not just me rambling for 10 minutes when it isn't really relevant to you. And with that, you should subscribe and, I don't know, have a nice day.